Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and this time we've got the pleasure of watching Ooostindrew playing in his T110E5, the Tier 10 American heavy tank, and he obviously really likes this vehicle. He's got it embellished. Welcome to hell! Captain America on the other side, and he's also a very good player with 3 marks of excellence on his gun barrels. So what is Ooostindrew going to be able to do here? Well, he's in a platoon. He's got an E100 and a T57 heavy along with him. Well, talk about a mix match, right? You wouldn't usually think that those tanks go together, but then again, a T57 heavy can kind of meld into any platoon format, at least in my opinion, you know. Being able to dish out 1,600 damage in 6 seconds is rather useful when you really need to take out something rather quickly. But let's not focus on the other Tier 10 American heavy tank, the T57 heavy. Let's focus on the T110E5 and our hero in this game, which is going to be Ooostindrew. Now he's playing on the Fjords map, and there's multiple ways to go here, really, aren't there? You can either go south, towards the center, either holding this location or trying to poach some shots around this corner, or alternatively go north. I think the choice to go south here is great. There are quite a few heavy tanks on the enemy team, including an E100 and a Mouse, who are likely to make their way down this flank. And a T110E5, they kind of deal very well with an E100 and a Mouse. Generally, the E5 will have to load some heat rounds to be able to pen the turret of the E100 and the Mouse. And really, the E100 and the Mouse are going to have to load premium to contest the cupola of the T110E5. So if you can hide your lower plate or just angle it very well, then the T110E5 does do very well against those German heavy tanks. It also does very well against the 200mm of superstructure armor that this Ferdinand has. Now, that superstructure armor is very flat, and so that means that the 120mm on this T110E5 is, it's just going to take it out very quickly, and Ooostindrew doesn't even need to use heat to be able to go through that armor. But the shell goes slightly to the right, hitting the side, which was well angled, and so he fails to be able to pick up the kill on that Tier 8 German tank destroyer. Will he be able to take it with the second shot? Yes, he will. Now, the enemy E50 has been firing some premium rounds at Ooostindrew here. 270mm of penetration. It kind of makes the E50 the equivalent of the E50M when you load premium on that vehicle. Obviously, there are still some other differences, of course, especially with regards to the mobility of the vehicle. But that really does make up for one of the biggest issues on the E50. But still, the strong T110E farmer... A farmer? Well, I guess this strong T110E5 farmer, right? No, but the strong T110E5 armor, even, was just made so much better when this vehicle was made into HD. But still, if you allow your opponents to get your side, or also to shoot into your flat lower plate, either on the front or specifically on the lower left or lower right, it doesn't really last that long. So we find that Ooostindrew is in a very interesting location here with his buddies. Let's go take a look to see what the T57 Heavy and the E100 are doing. Well, they're about to secure a kill on a bat chat, but then they've got this issue of having to grind through the heaviest tank in the game, the Mouse. 3,000 hit points and the best armor pretty much, at least in my opinion, if you angle it effectively. It's going to take them a while to be able to connect up to be able to get the back of this E100. And so that means that Ooostindrew really has to deal with this E100 and the E75. Now, he's not alone. He's got a VK4502B there, which is very useful because if he wasn't there, I believe the E100 and the E75 would be so much more comfortable of going around the corner and also putting shots then into Ooostindrew's lower plate. But by just having that one player with you, it can dissuade your opponents from playing aggressively against you. Great work there against the E100, focusing the fire, and now also then getting the back of the E75. I think he got hit a little bit by the artillery there for 336 damage, but I might be mistaken. Maybe a different kind of high explosive shell hit him. Anyway, he now puts a finishing shot into the E75, and finally he can connect up with his buddies, and it's a bloody good thing that he connects up with his buddies too, because look at what's happened along the northern flank. They have just got absolutely demolished. Now he is completely surrounded. So he's trying to protect his E100 buddy by shooting this Jagdpanzer E100. That is not a tank that you want to have shooting at anyone in your platoon, let alone yourself. The E100 Jagdpanzer comes around the corner. Is he going to be able to finish off the E100? Oh, 954 damage done to his buddy there. That's really the death bell for the E100. And so that means that Ooostindrew's team is now slowly, one by one, melting. Now he's loading some heat ammunition. He's obviously starting to feel the pressure here. And that E100 Jagdpanzer, after killing his E100 friend, is now off to go kill this T57 Heavy. But it looks like an AMX AC 1948 is actually going to crush his buddy to death. Look at that. Fallen Phoenix manages to get squashed by a Tier 8 French tank destroyer. That's a bit of a nasty one when you're playing in a tier 10 American auto-loading heavy tank, but I don't think there's anything that he could have really done about that. And frankly, this platoon have done everything that they could have done to be able to get their team into a winning situation. But now Ooostindrew, up to 7,000 damage, finds himself in a 1 versus 6 situation. How is he going to handle this, especially considering that many of the enemy tanks are very high on health? Well, that's not a very good start. He bounces a heat round off the Jagdpanzer E100, but luckily the Jagdpanzer E100 whiffs and completely misses him. Now he fires a heat round just at the upper plate, doesn't quite have enough gun depression, this vehicle having 8 degrees to be able to shoot the Jagdpanzer E100. Come on, you've got to start connecting some shells. He does. The T-57 Heavy bounces 1 shell off him. The T-57 Heavy bounces 2 shells. He focuses the 5100. The T-57 Heavy pens his final round by the looks of it, and now he is caught reloading. What a disastrous play there for the T-57 Heavy, and that allows Ooostindrew to turn round, having taken out the dangerous Tier 8 French heavy autoloader, to now deal with the Tier 10 American heavy autoloader at Tier 10. I love what he's done here. The T-57 Heavy is completely cocked up. He's allowed Ooostindrew to be able to get his frontal armor towards the T-34, and also now being pretty much artillery safe. There's no way that the M53-55 is going to be able to hit him. Ooostindrew is putting in round after round, but now he's run out of heat rounds. Is he going to be able to pen the Jagdtiger? He focuses fire very well, sneaking around the corner. Great shot into the lower plate. That is the focus that you need to be able to win these outnumbered situations, or even to just get through your 1 versus 1s with more hit points. This is just a flawless performance so far by Ooostindrew, focusing down the targets one by one. But oh god, what is happening here? The T-34 pushes him up the slope and now manages to put a shot into his upper plate. Look at that. That is a funky penetration for the T110E5. So Ooostindrew, that was maybe a little bit of a misplay. You've now lost your ammo rack, but hopefully it won't matter too much, because he puts a shot into the upper hull, the T-34 bounces, and he's still got a healthy slab of hit points now to go into his one-on-one with the M53-55. Now he decides to load a high explosive round. I like that play. That's exactly what he needs to do. His AP rounds are probably going to be like a 1 in 4, maybe even a 1 in 5 to be able to kill the enemy artillery. But his high explosive rounds do 515 alpha damage. And so that means he's more likely a 75 or an 80% chance to be able to kill the artillery in a single shell, unless he rolls very, very low indeed. Or they might even be even higher than that. Can't quite work it out off the top of my head right now. But Ooostindrew is making clever use of his ammunition going into this 1 versus 1. Now remember, the M53-55 is a scary tank, and the fact that he is ammo-racked, it's even more worrying. If he doesn't manage to kill the M53-55 with that single shell, that's going to give him enough time to probably aim the shell in correctly to be able to take him out. Now, when we think about what Ooostindrew has been able to do here, it's incredible considering the game, you know, there's 7 minutes left. That means that 8 minutes have occurred in this round, and he's already over 10,000 damage with 9 kills. He is gunning for the victory, but he's also gunning for the Pools medal. And also, when we think about it, a crucial contribution medal. Now, he goes around the corner. I guess he wants to try and get some vision, thinking the artillery is going to come round there. Where is he? Where is this artillery? He gets spotted. Oh my goodness, he hasn't spotted the artillery. Oh my word, the artillery puts in a big shell, but thankfully he finds the lower plate of the M53-55. Gosh, he was only left with 170 hit points there. He had a dead driver. He had a dead loader, which could have made things very awkward if he hadn't hit that shell. Thank goodness this one wasn't a heartbreak. Ooostindrew, congratulations to you on this absolute mammoth achievement, and it's very clear to me why you're such a good player in the T10E5. This was one of the best Kolobanov's medals at Tier 10 that I have seen in a while. Thank you so much for sending it in. Let's just take a very quick look at the post-game stats. That final shot was just so important. It secured Ooostindrew the crucial contribution medal for his platoon for destroying 12 enemies between them, and a Pools medal for himself, securing 10 kills in a Tier 10 game. He also picked up a high caliber medal for 10,482 damage, 5 figures, and a steel wall medal as well here for the T10E5, blocking over 5,000 damage. And the one that everyone wants for standing alone against at least 5 opponents, in this case 6, the Kolobanov's medal. When you do this kind of damage at Tier 10, it doesn't really matter if you fire a few premium rounds. He still made 80,000 credits profit, and also nailed 1,609 base experience points. That's an awesome result for a Tier 10 game. Ooostindrew, thank you so much for submitting this on the replays.QuickyBaby.com website. And thank you so much for being so active within my community. I see you commenting on a lot of my YouTube videos and also within Ike's videos as well. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed this game. If you did, please consider giving this video a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And if this video has sparked your interest in the Tier 10 American heavy tank, then simply click through up here and you can go through to a monster replay that won the 300,000 subscriber replay competition by Robbie for the win. Or use that more info icon in the top right hand corner of your screen or your mobile phone to see a plethora of other awesome T10E5 replays. And also, just a heads up, I'm currently in Belarus on holiday with Peppity, and so I won't be streaming until the 6th of May, but I've pre-recorded a load of YouTube videos to still release on my schedule. And also, let me know in the comments down below, are you planning on going on holiday this year? And if so, where are you going? And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.